right, guys, so for today in math, we are going to continue working in our Go Math book, and we're going to be working on Go Math lesson 2.2. So you'll need to be in your big, thick Go Math book on page 61. That's what page we're going to start on today, all right? So 61. And while you get there, I'm going to go ahead and read our I can statement for today so we know what we're going to be doing. Today, I can write a number in different ways by grouping tens as hundreds. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a lot of what we were doing yesterday, except we're going to do it just a little bit farther. We're going to take it a little bit harder. We're going to go one step deeper, okay? So we should be on page 61, and your page should look like this. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to practice what we did yesterday. So remember, yesterday what we were doing is we saw that there were lots of 10 rods all over the place. And we had to figure out how many 10 rods were there, okay? And then how many 100 flats could we combine all those 10 rods into, okay? So remember, every time we counted to 10, we circled them, and that equaled 100 flat. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I'm going to draw a circle around this group of 10 rods, and I know that that is one group of 100. Or I could shrink it together, remember how we did yesterday afternoon, and that would make 100 flat. Let's see if we can do another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can do another one. So here we go. That is 200 flats now. All right, and our last one, let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can make another 100 flat there. So my question is asking me, how many 100 flats do I have? 1, 2, 3. I have 300 flats, which means I have a total of 300 cubes, or in this case, I think what the girl said was she had 30 groups of 10 straws. So how many straws did she have? She has 300 total straws. Very good. All right. Now, let's go ahead and flip over. So you're going to flip your page and you're going to look at page 62. And we're going to be looking up here at this purple box, model and draw. All right. Now, remember how I said we're going to take it one step farther than we did yesterday, right? So we know when we see lots and lots of 10 rods, that's going to be more than 100 probably, right? So we need to see how much we got. So the first thing we always do is we count our 10 rods. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so we have 11 10 rods, right? So there we go. We have 11 10 rods, and what we want to figure out is what number is 11 10 rods. What number does that represent, right? So we know we can count 10 of those 10 rods, and we can draw a circle around them. So let's do that now. On your page, draw a circle around those 10 rods to show that we now have 100. But look at what happened. Instead of being able to make nice even hundreds like we could yesterday, we have 1 10 rod left over. So we have 100 and 110. All right, let's see what we're going to do. We know that this is the same as saying 100, right? Because it's 100 flat. And then we're going to count by tens when we see these. So 100, 110. So what is our number that is shown with 11 10 rods? 11 tens is the same thing as 100 flat and 110 rod. And we know that that number is 110. Okay? So if we have 11 tens, that is going to be 110. All right. let's go. I'm going to show you. I have my page up here, okay? Now, we're going to look down here at our share and show. So we should be moved down to number 1. And remember, the first thing we're going to do is count the 10 rods because we want to know exactly how many 10s we have. So let's do that together. Are you ready? With your pencil, count your 10 rods. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so we have 12 10 rods. Now, to make it easier on us, we're going to group those together, or we're going to regroup them and try to make a 100 flat. So remember, how many 10 rods do we need to make that 100 flat? 10 10s equals 100. So we know that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here's a trick. If we see these are grouped in 5. So I could count by 5s. 5, 10. I know that that's going to be 100 flat. Okay, so now in my picture I see that I have 100. Do I have enough left over here to make another 100 flat? I do not, right? So I know I have 100, and then how many 10s do I have left over? 2. So I have 100 and 2 10s, and we need to see how much does that equal, or what is the value of that? So remember, we can count this by saying 100, 110, 120, right? So that one goes there and that one goes there. So 12 10s is the same thing as 100 flat and 2 10s, or we call that 120. Okay? Here we go. Let's try this one. First thing we do is we count those 10 rods. I know this is 5, and this is another 5. So 5, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I have 13 10s. The next step is I have to group my 10s to be able to regroup that, right? So here we go. 10 10s is the same thing as 100. Do I have enough to make another 100 flat? No. So we have 100 and 3 10s. Let's see what it's going to equal. 100, 110, 120, 130. So 100 and 3 10s, the same thing as 130. Now, I'm going to show you something really quick. Look at this. Whoops. Ah! Don't know how I did that. But look at this. When I have 11 10s, look at what happens. My number ends up being 110. I add a 0 to this number, and that is what my number is, or my answer is. So if I have 11 10s, it's going to be 110. See, look, there's that 11, and I added a 0. Look right here. I had 12 10s. I have a 12, and then I added the 0 at the end. Down here, there were 13 10s. There's my 13. I added a 0 at the end. 13 10s, the same thing as 130. I want you to work this one right here. It's a little crooked on my board, but I want you to work problem number 3. Count your 10s. Put that number there. Circle what you can to regroup as 100 flat, and then count your extra 10s. Pause your video and come on back. Okay? All right, I know I have 5, 10, okay, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have 14 10s. I'm going to circle. I have 100 flat and 4 10s left over. I know this is 100, 110, 120, 130, 140. And look, does our trick hold up? 14 10s, 14 with a 0 at the end. It does. All right, so now it's time for you to practice on your own, all right? You are going to be working on page 63. It's exactly what we just did. So follow that same procedure to find out how many 10s are there. Do you have enough to make hundreds? then how many are left over, and what is that number total. All right? You will submit page 63 on Seesaw for Miss Gates to check later. Have a fabulous Friday, guys.